This is John Polar. I'm coming to you from Tokyo, Japan. I want to cover more of this New Warriors by Marvel because it's pretty much one of the cringiest things we've ever seen. And I checked out my least favorite media source called the Mary Sue, and I knew they would not quite be defending this thing, but, I knew they'd have to spin their own positive outlook somehow on it and say it's not that bad. So what they say is, the laughable title of the stupid article, the internet is having a mixed reaction to New Warriors characters Snowflake and Safe Space, which they're talking about specifically, and make no mistake, there's over 100,000 dislikes on the trailer video, about 3,000 likes. Last I checked, that is not mixed, that is completely on the side of disliking this thing. Let's see what they say. Creating new characters in comics is hard, especially when you are trying to add diversity to the medium. There is a segment of the population that will always have some sort of hateration about forced diversity. However, that doesn't mean there can't be constructive feedback when it comes to how new marginalized characters are designed. When it comes to Snowflake and Safe Space, which are the names of the two heroes for the upcoming New Warriors comic series, there is a lot to unpack there. And here's the thing, if you're creating characters that are diverse, it's no different than creating characters who are not diverse. And I guess what they mean by not diverse is white versus non-white. That's what I get. That's how these people use this phrase, but a character is a character, you put in the human element, the skin color doesn't matter, so that statement's pretty stupid. They go on to say, within the demographic of non-binary comic fans, it does not to be hitting the mark because of the names and the implications of the color choices given to them. Did I read that right? Is that a good sentence? Hold on, one more time. Within the demographic of the non-binary comic fans, it does not to be hitting the mark. Yeah, you see why I make mistakes sometimes. Thank you, Mary Sue. Okay, so, this guy on Twitter is apparently on the side of forced diversity and social justice warriors, things like that, who want these characters to be diverse for the sake of diversity, but he's not happy. And people on the right aren't happy. Left isn't happy. No one's happy. Not to pile on and not to speak for the NB community, but gender norms like blue and pink, for example, even if you are wink wink flipping them, are exactly the thing non-binary folks want nothing to do with. This feels like it was created without any input or research. What he's saying is, don't put pink on girls, blue on guys, things like that. They want, and they rightfully want, in some ways, these binary trans characters to fit in and not be separated by traditional colors and traditional stereotypes, which I get if the characters were good, but these characters aren't good, so it's open rein making fun of them because they are really that terrible. Again, I say this with respect to the creators of these characters because I'm sure they were done with love and with the intent to be inclusive. That's the problem. It was the intent to be inclusive, but they weren't really trying to actually be inclusive. It was kind of a sales point. It was a move to look like they were being inclusive, because if they were really trying to be inclusive from the heart, they would just make good characters and they would fit in. It does matter to have black NB characters in comics, to have fat indigenous women and other marginalized characters so they can know they have a space in this industry. I disagree about fat. Obviously, race has nothing to do with it, but it's better to have superheroes in shape, to set the good example, because the best thing for your body is to stay in shape and stay thin. And if you're heavy, yeah, okay, let's not make fun of that, but we can't praise that, because the best thing to do is eat your vegetables and drink tea and water instead of sodas and McDonald's shakes and stuff. However, it doesn't mean that mistakes don't get made. I do feel like these names are an error that will be held against this comic despite the good intentions that are clearly built in it. And how the hell does she know the intentions are good? Just curious. She assumes the intentions are good. And by the way, these are pretty much all written by women. I forgot who wrote this, but it's probably a woman, so I'm going to say she. I'm sure I'm right. Okay, she goes on to say, Luciano Vecchio is a queer man, and as I said before, Kibble Smith, who is the writer of Snowflake and Safe Space, has a history of being an ally, but that doesn't automatically mean you have the full range of language to create every kind of character. If people within the community are saying that this feels off and insulting in good faith, then I think that should be listened to. And what the goddamn hell? This is the same person who called me a sexist, white dude, man baby, troll, because I said, in good faith of 40 freaking years almost, that the Star Wars movies were absolutely terrible the way they were. So, oh, that's frustrating. If I saw this person, I wouldn't do anything like completely nasty, but I wouldn't mind like throwing a pie in her face or something like that. I'm not Envy, a non-binary person, but just naming a black non-binary character, Snowflake, and partnering them up with a black male character named Safe Space sounds weird. There should have just been more people taking a look at this within that community. That's a huge no shit for you. They don't take a look, they give it to two retarded writers, they put it in their hands, they release a stupid thing, and they get hundreds of thousands of dislikes. This isn't the first time. You can't please everyone and not every criticism is valid, but I have yet to see a lot of responses from within the Ebony community that are in praise of these choices. Representation matters, but it needs to be a lot more thought put into it than this. Yeah, I messed up reading that a little bit. We'll just keep going though, having fun. Even the idea of reclaiming these terms is something that feels very 3 years ago. Plus, reclaiming has to come from within the community, not from the minds of two cis white male creators, and that's a big FU because white people can write just as good as anyone else, whether the character is black or Indian or Korean. It doesn't matter. Stan Lee wrote the Black Panther. Black Panther is one of the biggest, best, most famous black superheroes ever. It doesn't matter. So all they do is attack white people and play these color games of skin color and things like that, and they don't stick to the main topic. The characters just flat out suck. The thing that sucks the worst is this website, and I'm not sure what's worse, this website or the characters. That's a tough choice. You guys, let me know what you think down below. I didn't get too much into the actual characters or the plot line of the thing, because that's just a whole different video, and it's not even worth it. There's no reason to get too much into something that's apparently so bad on the surface, that's so disliked. It's better just to obviously not support it, dislike it, and move on. I'm doing shoutouts, special thanks, things like that. Big shout out to my buddy, John Bamford, helping me a lot behind the scenes. Thank you very much, sir. If you're not subscribed here, smash that subscribe button. If you don't, I'll be sad. If you do, you'll be happy. Not sure if that ending's good, maybe I'll change it, but it's the ending, and the beginning of the video is much more important than the end.
If you are not subscribed to this channel, The Entertainment Hacker, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button now.